Hi guys, Shannon here. Thought I'd touch base and start talking a bit about some general health and brain related stuff. But here I am sitting outside. It's wonderful. The temperature is great, nice little breeze. So I thought I'd take great advantage of being out here. Anyways, birds are chirping. I'm out with my dogs. Can't get any better than this for a spring day. Anyway, so let's talk just a little bit about brain related stuff. People are always concerned about, health and weight and all these other sort of general issues, but people forget about the brain also needs to be healthy. And so let's touch base a little bit on, the basics. And that is one, hydration. Water, just like for the rest of our body and our organs, water is super is important because the brain is also made up with a lot of water and it needs to have hydration, just like the body. So if you're getting a headache and people always say, oh, how much water have you drank? That's because the brain is literally shrinking because it's dehydrated. The other thing that we should really consider is what we are eating, right? So because there is a brain-gut connection, so what you put in your mouth, right, not only affects all of our body and how it functions, but it affects our brain too. So if you're eating like a high carbohydrate diet, a lot of pasta, a lot of breads, a lot of fats, a lot of this, a lot of that, all this, really crappy sort of things, it's going to affect your brain. And when it starts affecting your brain, then it's going to start, affecting how it actually functions, how your moods are, how you behave, how all these things are interacted with other people. And the list is super long. So having a super diet, a good diet, with healthy foods like fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, proteins, etc. is really critical. Now your brain only weighs about 2% of your total body weight, which isn't very much for something that basically is the engine that controls all our functions, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. But it's so important. People also don't realize that your brain is, they think because they see in shows like they're holding the brain. Well, yeah, that's after, it's kind of hardened a bit. But a true brain that's just come out of a skull is super soft, almost like custard or butter. And so that allows, unfortunately, that when we have any sort of trauma to the brain, whether it's the car had to stop quickly, so you had to slam on the brakes, your brain does bounce in and back and forth in your hard skull, which isn't good, okay? So that is a small or slight concussion or a hematoma that actually happens. Same with slip and falls. You may not have to hit your head on the ground, but the jarring of that motion actually does affect your brain and does actually need some healing work, right? Never mind if you do actually hit your head on something hard, or you have a car accident or some other sort of major thing, punch to the head, or even a ball like a soccer ball to your head really is not great for the brain. All right, so these are things that we need to consider on how we actually treat our bodies and how that's going to affect the brain, because guess what, if our brain is even slightly damaged, or we have a lot of hematomas, just like broken blood vessels, like a bruise, they are slight traumatic brain injuries, and these do have long-term effects on us. And we'll sit back and think, oh geez, 30 years ago, I might have hit my head, with the car door, or something happened. You don't have to have like a massive injury, but you start wondering, well, why am I having memory loss, and why am I having, dementia issues and all these other things? Well, everything is a cause and effect. So what you do and what happens to you when you're younger will affect you in your older age, unfortunately. So anyways, so the other thing that I should touch on is that when we're talking about nutrition is that 20 to 30% of your calorie intake actually goes to your brain. So you want to make sure that the calories that you are actually putting in your body are good. Because if not, if you're eating french fries and hamburgers and all this other crap, well, then you can't expect your brain to function real well. And, this is going to affect you in all parts of life, unfortunately. So The other thing is making sure, you know, of what you're doing in, whether it's your job or whether it's at home, regarding toxic materials and sprays and cleaners and all these other things that we either smell in or breathe in are going to affect our brains, you know, because you'll get heavy metals, toxicities, different things that are sitting there and unfortunately, you know, making things not so great as it's accumulative. Okay, so that's very, very important. You're also the oxygen that you consume in your bloodstream is 20% goes to your brain, right? So you want to make sure that you have a good oxygen level within your blood too. So this is just at least a little info to get us started on talking about the brain. The other thing we're going to start talking about too is, again, how the brain and the gut connects, and how these different parts of the brains I should say, function, and why certain things might be happening. And again, it can be from just even a slip and fall that you don't even remember that happened a long time ago. But everything is, no matter what it is in your body, is always cause and effect. You know, you slip, you fall, you know, hit your hip's now out of balance, your pelvis is out of balance, your sacrum's out of balance. Well, you're going to have other body issues, like, let's say, for example, plantar fasciitis, right? So we want to touch on all these things so you have an idea of what maybe is happening with the body, and how we can fix this. So let's start talking about more of the brain in later videos, and we'll see you then. Bye for now.